Hey, this is your host. Today we're going to be talking about lavender. Now there are over 47 different types of lavender and they all smell delicious. There's English lavender, which has these beautiful spikes of deep purple flowers that have a really great scent. Then there's French lavender, which is a hybrid between English lavender and spike lavender. And then there's Spanish lavender, which has these beautiful little tiny flowers that are light purple in color, and it is also known as the Portuguese lavender. Now this is because it has these two components called linalool and camphor. These are two very well-known sleep-promoting compounds. When applied to the skin, camphor creates a cooling sensation and it also gives you this minty smell. Both of these components work together to promote relaxation and calmness, thereby allowing you to sleep a little bit better. One group inhaled lavender for 5 minutes before taking a very stressful exam. The other group just sat there while the lavender group inhaled the scent for 5 minutes. This is possibly because it helps reduce stress and anxiety. Stress and anxiety can play a big role when it comes to tension-type headaches. There was a study done with 94 women who had primary dysmenorrhea, which is just a fancy way of saying menstrual cramps. The participants were split into two groups. Now we know this mainly because of the high amount of antioxidants that are found in lavender essential oil. Well, you can diffuse lavender around your house to help fill up the air with these great-smelling antioxidants. Or you can buy some lavender essential oil and put a couple drops in a glass of water and drink it. One test tube study showed that lavender essential oil was able to stop the growth of 7 different types of bacteria. A study was done with 20 male firefighters. They exposed the insides of their forearms to a hot plate for 1 minute and then they applied either lavender cream or hydrocortisone cream and then they covered it with a bandage. Both of these compounds are considered safe to consume in small amounts. And since liver enzymes help break down medications in your body, adding in lavender may cause either too much or too little of your medication in your body. And if you're looking for more great ways to improve your health, check out this playlist right here. And remember, you are awesome. So if you do take any medications, it's best to talk to your doctor before using any lavender products. So if you decide to consume lavender, it's best to do so in small amounts. For example, you could add a couple drops of lavender essential oil to a glass of water, or you could steep dried lavender buds in boiling water to make lavender tea. Just remember, when it comes to essential oils, less is usually more. You want to be careful not to overuse essential oils. And if you do decide to consume lavender, please make sure it's food grade. They kept it on for 24 hours and then they took off the bandage and assessed the burn. And they found that the group that had used the lavender cream had significantly less redness and swelling than the control group. So if you ever get a minor burn, you may want to apply some lavender cream or lotion to the affected area. These bacteria included E. coli, Salmonella, and Staphylococcus aureus. As with anything, it's important to use lavender appropriately. The first side effect we're going to talk about today is photosensitivity. Photosensitivity means that you're more sensitive to the sun's rays. If you use any lavender products topically, it's best to stay out of the sun or wear sunscreen while you're outside. The second side effect we're going to talk about today is irritation to the skin. If you're going to be applying any lavender oil to the skin, it's best to dilute it with a carrier oil first. Now, when it comes to the safety of using lavender internally, there is limited data on the safety of consuming lavender. In this study, the lavender essential oil was combined with a carrier oil and then it was applied to the skin. In another test tube study, lavender essential oil was able to stop the growth of Candida glabrata, which is a type of yeast that can cause vaginal yeast infections. In this study, lavender essential oil was put in a Petri dish with the yeast and the results showed that lavender was able to stop its growth. While these studies look promising, more research needs to be done. But in general, it's thought that lavender may be effective against gram-positive bacteria and yeast. This may be why people have been using lavender for so long as a way to help clean wounds. Okay, maybe don't drink the actual essential oil. Put it in a glass of water first. Or you can also purchase some dried lavender buds and make yourself some lavender tea. Antioxidants help fight free radicals in the body. Free radicals are unstable molecules that can damage your cells. And when your cells are damaged, sometimes that can lead to cancer. And not only does lavender have a lot of antioxidants, but it also has anti-inflammatory properties. If you have a tension headache, try diffusing some lavender or smelling some lavender oil and see if it helps. The other group got a placebo pill 3 times a day for 3 days starting on the first day of their menstrual cycle. There was a study done with 30 to pregnant women who were experiencing nausea and vomiting. The women were given either ginger or lavender capsules twice a day for 7 days. And at the end of the study, the researchers noticed that both groups had significantly less nausea than the beginning of the study. While this study was done with pregnant women, it is likely that lavender could also help with nausea from other causes such as motion sickness or nausea from certain medications. If you ever experience nausea, try smelling some lavender to see if it helps. At the end of the trial, the researchers noticed that the group that had received the lavender had significantly less pain than the control group. Some studies have even shown that if you apply lavender topically to your feet before bed, you will fall asleep faster and feel more refreshed in the morning. So if you do find yourself feeling stressed out, consider diffusing some lavender, or maybe buying some lavender tea, or maybe even rubbing some lavender oil on your temples. Linalool is actually found in lots of essential oils, but it's most prevalent in lavender. We're gonna be talking about the most common one today, which is English lavender. In fact, during the Middle Ages, people would use lavender as a way to ward off fleas and other insects. And today we still use these lovely little sachets of lavender to keep our clothes smelling fresh and nice in our closets. And speaking of fresh and nice, if you are enjoying this video so far, please hit that like button. It will help boost the algorithm and allow us to reach more people with natural health tips. But if you want to know more about the other types, let us know in the comments down below. If you struggle with falling asleep or staying asleep, consider using lavender as an aromatherapy or a supplement to your bedtime routine. You can use it as a scent in a diffuser, or you can get yourself some lavender essential oil and rub it on your feet before bed. One benefit we're going to talk about today is how lavender can help you sleep better. There was a study done with 38 women who were having surgery. They took lavender oil and they either put it on their pillowcase or they inhaled the scent of lavender for 5 minutes every day for 8 weeks. And at the end of the study, the researchers noticed that the group who inhaled the lavender had significantly less anxiety than the control group. Camphor is something that you might be familiar with as a topical pain reliever. Other studies have shown that inhaling lavender can increase melatonin levels in your body, which is a hormone that promotes good quality sleep. Benefit no. 2 is that lavender may reduce stress and anxiety. There was also another study done where they took 156 high school students and divided them into 2 groups. After the stressful event, the researchers noticed that those who had inhaled lavender had less cortisol in their bodies, which is the stress hormone, and they also reported feeling less stressed out. Benefit no. 3 is that lavender may reduce the risk of headaches. Also, you may have heard of lavender being used as a cleaning agent. The 4th benefit of lavender is that it may help ease menstrual cramps. One group got lavender capsules 3 times a day for 3 days, starting on the first day of their menstrual cycle. The 5th benefit of lavender is that it may reduce the risk of certain cancers. Chronic inflammation is also linked to cancer. So what can you do to get more antioxidants and anti-inflammatory compounds into your body? The 5th benefit of lavender is that it may help treat nausea. Next up on the list is the fact that lavender may help reduce the risk of bacterial infections. Another interesting thing that I came across was that lavender may be helpful when it comes to burns. Alright, now that we've talked about all the benefits of lavender, let's talk about some possible side effects. However, when scientists tested the chemical composition of lavender essential oil, they found that it contained a lot of linalool and camphor. And finally, lavender may interact with certain medications. Lavender can cause an increase in liver enzymes. So what are your experiences with using lavender? Let me know in the comments down below.